Let's take a look at this. I'm actually curious what this is.
This video is brought to you by Surfshark. I was very uncertain whether or not to include a sponsor on this one due to the subject matter, but Surfshark is a tool promoting security and protection, so I landed on yes. Alright, before getting started, I want to do a brief history of who I am and outline my relationship to TikTok as a social media application. I do not actively use the platform. I understand that there is massive growth potential for any creator. I understand that creators who leverage it properly are seeing monumental follower gains. And I understand that
I feel like a lot of the follower gains people get on TikTok are like really kind of circumstantial just to TikTok. Like they're just in the TikTok ecosystem. So like somebody can have like fucking 3 million followers on TikTok and they have 20,000 followers on Twitter and they get like 200 likes. Nobody gives a shit. So like TikTok is like, you can blow up on TikTok, but it's very contained.
There's content there which
there are people that break that mold though.
But all things combined, TikTok is a platform that I despise.
Ooh.
I've covered the application multiple times now.
Okay.
First, it was criticism of trends and challenges, where TikTok users would dress as victims of global tragedy and inappropriately sing or dance on screen.
I don't know. I mean, like, I always view, like, the, like, kids would, like, dress up as, like, you know, a Holocaust victim, stuff like that. Man, like, there are people in my school, like, that would dress up as fucking, like, fucking KKK members. And they weren't even white. They were just dressing up as KKK members. I feel like kids doing stupid, like, really bad stuff like that, this isn't a new development. Kids were doing this whenever I was in high school. Kids were doing this, like, on YouTube, on Vine. I feel like it's always been like this. Yeah, like, this is nothing new with TikTok. It's just because it's a big platform, you see it more. Did it got packed out of my school? Oh, no, nobody gave a shit at mine.
To be victims on the anniversary of 9/11, pretending to be victims of the Holocaust. These teenagers were displaying what I consider to be a horrifying lack of respect and common decency. But even worse...
I don't know, like, the lack of respect and common decency, I do see, like, some... The thing is, like, I do definitely see some people that are doing it to mock it. But you've got to also remember, like, these are people who are kids. These are, like, 15 and 16-year-old girls. Like, you can't necessarily expect these people to be able to understand the nuances of a genocide. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I just... Like, maybe it's just, like, me. But, like, whenever I see a kid do something really dumb like that, I don't really hold it against them. I'm like, it's a kid, man. Like, I think back at dumb shit that I did whenever I was a kid. I didn't dress up as a Holocaust victim. That was dumb. But I did other shit that probably they think is even dumber than what they're doing. Yeah, it's being a kid. Yeah, it's a fucking teenager. I don't know. Like, I don't think this is a big deal. I really don't.
Many of these users were also participating in challenges. Challenges are a flash in the pan of social media popularity, but in a short amount of time, they can deal a substantial amount of damage. Challenges on TikTok range from benign or relatively easy tasks to flat-out dangerous behavior. Snorting spray tan solution, for example, which allegedly increases melanin.
I feel like every time that I see something like this, there's also the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, right? That raised a lot of money for, you know, people with that disorder. So like, I don't think that challenges are like fundamentally bad. And I think the fact is, beauty influencers taking a TikTok, tanning nasal sprays, helping develop eye-catching golden glow. I mean, I will definitely say that if you are a content creator and you're trying to like sell a product and you're doing stuff like this to your audience, I don't know, like it's really hard for me to say that somebody should stay on the platform whenever they're promoting snorting nasal spray. You know, missing a big point. The kids in your class reach 200 people. Kids posting on TikTok reach about 200,000 people. It can affect the health of society. I don't know, man. I mean, you could say the exact same thing about 4chan. You could say the exact same thing about YouTube, about Facebook, etc. Like, I don't really think that's the case. I think people go through shit whenever they're younger, and obviously, like, kids get into stupid shit, and then they get older, and most of them grow out of it. Some of them don't. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a big deal to me. Yeah, it seems. Yeah, it's like it's almost like a satanic panic. It's weird. I do think this is dumb, but it's also important to contextualize like the amount of people that are actually like doing this kind of stuff. Very minimal.
In production, eating entire scoops of dry protein or mixing powder, which can cause aspiration pneumonia. drinking methylene blue, commonly used as fish tank cleaner, to recolor your tongue.
Yeah.
And the list goes on. Challenges on TikTok range from innocent to potentially life-threatening, and anywhere in between.
I do think that, like, there are some good challenges, like the ALS bucket challenge. I do think that, you know, contextually that happened before TikTok, though. So I don't think challenges are, like, categorically bad, but I could see why. I don't think that it's unreasonable to expect TikTok to try to suppress challenges that are self-harm. You know what I mean?
Putting pennies behind electrical sockets, which causes electrocution and fire, holding your own breath until you pass out, and slapping school teachers or vandalizing school bathrooms. When I say that these challenges are now a constant part of our everyday lives...
I mean, am I the only person that remembers the Vine challenges of, like, stealing things from stores? What was it called? Fucking put them in a casket whenever you would, like, put your arms over your shoulders and then fall down onto things in, like, a store and knock stuff over. Okay, yeah, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really just, I feel like this shit, yeah, planking. Put him in a coffin, there it is. Yeah, put him in a coffin. Yeah, there he goes. This is, fuck. Like, the best thing, bro, the fucking funniest thing about this shit is, like, those guys that were in, like, 2011, 2012, putting them in a coffin, right? Now they're sitting here fucking 29 years old about how bad TikTok is because it has kids graffitiing the wall at a school. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like nobody sees how the wheel is turning.
Us, even when we don't know it. I'm being serious because the influence of TikTok that has bled over from
fatal
personal
online
behavior
trend
to societal impact is profound. On December 17th of 2021, in the aftermath of a national tragedy, TikTok gave rise to ambiguous but substantial threats of violence against schools, forcing a nationwide...
Maybe I'm a bit old. I'm not the only person who remembers the the panics that, like, mainstream media would have in the 90s and the 2000s about kids having similar like different types of, like, challenges that were going around the nation that would, like, they would harm themselves. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some examples, but, like, yeah, trench coat, planking, Tide Pods. That's a great example. Tide Pods are great. It's a semi-recent one, but, like, I mean, this was going around, like, way before TikTok.
Security response
Media
in the United States.
was building this up in 2003.
Some parents were never aware. Some may have heard about it after the fact, but
yeah.
This social media app was playing a role in school cancellation now, forcing a police response to thousands of elementary schools. Ultimately, nothing happened, thank God. But the reality of what this app has become cannot be denied. However, for those already forming an opinion of the platform, It gets worse. The next example of coverage I looked into was medical. TikTok is a home to viral and popular trends, but what are those trends doing? For teenage girls, those trends are likely causing neurological disorders, as they are bombarded by and subjected to viral content of facial and behavioral tics or manufactured quirky behavior, which they begin to subconsciously imitate. TikTok trends designed to be engaging and funny, like multi-million view fake videos of Tourette's tics, is causing actual health problems in underage users.
I do think, what do you call it? Like, I would probably agree with that, like, having people go and, you know, like, act like they have Tourette's, etc. But, like, I think that we should contextualize the Tourette's example as every single person, whenever they found out that girl was, like, faking Tourette's, universally fucking disowned her. It's not like this is somebody who's doing it for fun on TikTok and everybody likes her. Everybody fucking hated her. You see what I'm saying? I do think that you can make a very strong argument, though, with what Upper Echelon is saying, that social media is probably harmful. I think that if you, like, you know, you have, like, two different, like, I don't know, like, fucking scales, and you have the good and the bad, I think for, like, young kids and, like, teenagers, like 15-year-olds, shit like that, I think that there's probably more weight in the bad scale. Because the reality is, like, look at, for example, the Holocaust thing, right? You have some 15-year-old girl, she thinks that she's doing, she's doing black people a favor by putting on blackface and pretending to act out a scene as if she's a slave. And then, you know, her face is on a million fucking articles. You've got thousands of people messaging her, telling her to kill herself. And like, this person basically put themselves in the crosshairs of thousands and maybe millions of people because they're a naive, stupid kid that doesn't understand the nuances of blackface because they're 15 fucking years old. So like that, like, you see what I'm saying, right? It's like, it's harmful in a way that's like actually not even because of the website itself. It's because of the way that people react to it. So like now this girl is going to have to, like, she's always going to be known as Blackface Betty. You know, everybody's going to say, you know, like whenever she fucking goes to whatever school she goes to for college, everybody's going, oh, you're the blackface girl. I remember you. And it's like, so are you really racist? Like, do you really hate them or what? Like, do you want to bring back slavery? And like this kind of shit, right? Like it fucks somebody up. So I do think that like if you put it in context of like under 18s or maybe under 20s using social media, TikTok, in my opinion, again, is no different than Twitter or any of these other ones. Instagram, I think Instagram might be worse for girls, but in general, you know, all different varying levels of bad, depending on how you look at it. I think that you could very strongly make an argument that TikTok is worse for young people than good.
It gets worse. The entire application is formed around small snippets of content. One of my most popular videos ever was called TikTok is Destroying a Generation, and centered on medical research suggesting that TikTok lowers attention spans, decreases concentration, and affects short-term memory. These factors combined as...
I mean, I would have to look at that and see what that is. Because, like, is it something that is unique to TikTok? Is it unique to TikTok in a way that it is not unique to video games, social media as a whole, social media consumption, television usage, etc.? You see what I'm saying? It's like, what is the control here? I don't know. I might actually look into this because I like my gut reaction is that TikTok probably does create this trend, but this trend is probably created through consuming content on the internet organically. You see what I'm saying? So like that's what my gut reaction to it is, but I don't know. I haven't read the study. I don't know what these graphs are.
As well as the resulting depression and anxiety that are built when users cannot properly moderate their own attention span, also their susceptibility to advertising, which can be very damaging, or are subjected to things that they are unable to avoid or turn away from due to self-control issues, make TikTok a singular feedback loop of nearly all major negative factors involved with social media entirely. I'm
not sure if I entirely agree that TikTok is the problem because people lack self-control. I find that to be like a very dangerous precedent to set, logically. I think it's like, if somebody is unable to control themselves, is it society's responsibility to make the entire world a padded room for their inability to do that?
Since TikTok is a one-stop shop designed to facilitate rapid digestion of content for everything bad that has come from this aggressive social media revolution. That video...
One second, let me read this.
Content for everything bad that has come from this
rapid onset of functional tick-like behaviors in young adults during COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, if I look at the results and methods and everything like this, I don't see TikTok. This is tick. And I actually did read something that there were speech therapists that were making comments that they've had so many kids and like parents of kids that need to have help from these speech therapists because the isolation during COVID effectively like retarded somebody's speech. It literally held it back multiple years, and they can't speak properly, and they're having teachers that are trying to get them to speak properly. I still speak good. Yeah, exactly. And it's like everyone wearing masks. Yeah.
Revolution. That video, the previous one, went viral. In the aftermath, I was engaging with a number of professors and lower grade teachers about which particular sources I had used and in what order, with an ultimate effect where the subject matter itself crossed over into classrooms. That level of response felt good. I was proud of it. I dislike TikTok. I formed that opinion based on a variety of medical and social factors. I sourced the information, and then it had some measure of impact as a result.
But I wish we could see more of these studies, because the study that he just showed with Tourette's doesn't show or indicate any causal link between Tourette's or tics and TikTok. Like, if you read the page, there's nothing that that implied a link between the two things.
Believe me when I say this, it gets exponentially worse from here. Alright, before going further, sponsored video, and that sponsor is, once again, Surfshark. Your life online is a minefield. You play games, browse websites, download files, basically everything is a risk. Surfshark is here to help with that by offering VPN, virtual private network services, that can help insulate you from a variety of online threats. Surfshark offers protection from certain phishing attacks, a serious issue in the world of social media and crypto especially. It can protect against malware, DNS tunneling, DDoS attacks, spyware, and also shield you from the inevitable and constant data harvesting, as well as tracking, from big tech companies.
I feel like everybody just uses they use VPN to just look at porn. Or like watch Netflix in another country. Like, does anybody actually like use VPN because of malware or like phishing? I feel like you just use it to look at porn. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
Even further, Surfshark can unlock additional content on streaming websites, like Netflix, for example, because geographic location is tied often directly to licensing agreements or contracts. Simply change your region and enjoy increased options in your video library. Surfshark can get you around regional censorship, such as government restrictions on websites, which happens a lot these days, and also offers encryption, IP protection, or modification, and so much more. Today, they are offering 83% off and 3 full months free if you click the link down below in the description using promo code Echelon. Again, that's promo code Echelon, and 3 full months for free if you click the link down below in the description. Big thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring the channel and being a long-standing partner. This is the part of the video where I need to outline methods and give disclaimers. Investigating this subject matter is kind of tricky. Merely possessing a recording of what I looked into is probably, under some circumstances, illegal. Having been made aware by a community request that TikTok Live might contain problematic underage content, I was faced with a difficult question of how exactly to investigate this. After a great deal of thought, I landed on this kind of solution. I would not engage with anything that I discovered, except to say precisely what I was doing. Investigating TikTok Live to see if there is inappropriate or directly paid for explicit content by minors. If I encountered a broadcast that I believed to be a legitimate example of underage explicit content, I would cease recording immediately, document what I had found with notes only, and move on. I would only record footage from streams where I was reasonably sure that those recordings were not over the line, and I would blur all, or nearly all, of the content that I recorded in the final video, since much of it would likely be near the line at best, should this kind of content be an issue. I was not prepared for what would happen next. Using a TikTok account I created some time ago for challenge and trending research purposes on prior videos, I began to browse the TikTok Live page. It's important to note here that TikTok Live does not function like YouTube or Twitch, for example, because you are not able to directly search keywords or categories. TikTok is, above all else, a
Was that dude scratching off lottery tickets?
Primary feed of popular content where you selectively choose what to engage with, but that content feed is determined by an algorithm. This presents our first problem. The TikTok algorithm, as reported and investigated by the Wall Street Journal, utilizing dozens of custom-bought scanning accounts, served a never-ending stream of drug content and sexual fetish material to users between the age of 13 and 15. The algorithm began to bombard these...
If I was between the age of 13 and 15, it would be serving it to me because I'd be asking for that. I mean, I'm just saying. I remember one time, my mom... I realized that I couldn't delete part of the porn history on my thing, and I told my mom that I was getting porn pop-ups to preemptively make her think that I wasn't looking at porn and it wasn't me. But it was actually that I couldn't delete all of the history in that way, and she was like, "Oh wow, I'm so sorry you had to see that." Yeah, so I wonder how many of these fucking kids... It's the website's fault. Yeah, and she believed it. One time I told her that I had to look at porn because everybody in my school called me gay, and I was getting bullied for them calling me gay, so I had to look at porn because I was getting bullied at school. And she actually felt sorry for me and forgot about the entire thing. Bro, like, I have finessed myself out of so many situations.
Test accounts made as users with a self-expressed age of 13, 14, or 15 with non-stop depictions of whips, chains, or torture devices. They were funneling these children into what some users refer to as kink talk, which commonly contained sexual power dynamic fantasies and
That's it. Like, this is the shit that I was talking about before, where I do think that it's probably better if kids aren't on places like TikTok and Twitter. Like, I really think that, like, this is a bad thing. Overall, like, young kids, minors being on these platforms is probably bad. I've been on social media ever since I was 13, 14 years old, and I don't think that it was bad for me, but, like, MySpace wasn't the same as TikTok.
very explicit behavior. Hundreds of videos containing adult material, whether it be substances, behavior, or both, were served in rapid succession to underage accounts by a central feed, which is governed by the algorithm. Now, It's important to understand how and why this occurs, and while the
YouTube had a whole issue with this stuff happening, and that was part of what, like, the whole Elsa Gate thing was, is that YouTube was also pushing these, like, weird, perverted fetish videos to, like, little kids. So, like, TikTok is definitely behind on this, like, massively fucking behind on this. And like, while I don't think that TikTok is fundamentally bad, well, at least not yet, I haven't finished the video, but I think this is fundamentally bad.
That question might be incredibly complex. One of the easiest explanations is watch time. How long do you hover over a video letting it play? This one key metric can be used to determine, without ever needing to examine likes or followers, what content is more popular on TikTok. And for children ages 13 to 15, sexualized material can be an interest. Simply watching that portion of the feed for a few seconds longer, even if you never decide to like the video or follow the posting account, can tell the algorithm that you want to see more. And in a matter of minutes, you can be sucked down a rabbit hole of algorithmically driven adult content served to a minor's account, which reinforces itself over and over and over again. TikTok Live is a central feed where users are mostly subjected to whatever the platform wants them to see, until they have found specific streams that they like from particular broadcasters and followed those accounts. But what happens when the feedback loop starts? And what if the subject matter is even worse? At this point, I need to say something to everyone watching, especially parents. I can't show you all of what I found. I can't even show you most of what I found. Out of respect for the children involved, I need to heavily censor, redact, or remove portions of footage and other on-screen content, but what I found here is disturbing. Within minutes of browsing the feed, I was being shown users, primarily girls, who were certainly under 18 and could easily have been under the technical age requirement of 16 for TikTok Live, which many users I found would openly admit. Some stated without hesitation or numerous times that they were 15, others 14, etc. And it became clear that should the algorithm decide to serve you that content, if you watch it longer, or if you like any of it, there was no shortage. From there, things got worse. I started to see questionable content popping up where girls, often appearing to be quite young, were holding signs or standing in front of the camera with a revealing outfit. Those signs would say things like rose equals say daddy, or ice cream equals 360 spin, or even universe equals cut shirt. Or in one case, a woman who was definitely older than 18, she would cut off the wedding dress she was wearing for a certain chat sticker. The thing is, these pictures, or stickers, are not just pictures. They're money. In a way that seems nearly purpose-built for obfuscation, these little stickers and pictures, like a rose, are actually a way to donate money to these broadcasters, many of whom were openly admitting to being under 18 or even under 16 years old, as they did spins, bent over on camera, lifted their shirts, or engaged in other clearly suggestive content directly for money. Following the rules that I set out for myself through 4 separate sessions, I had to cut the recording and delete the footage over half a dozen times. Bombarded now with a feed of this content determined by the TikTok algorithm, I was being served a never-ending stream of girls on TikTok, many of them at very young ages, being paid by a chat room of viewers intending to see them in compromising positions. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and once you begin to see what's really happening, it makes you sick. But there's more. Attempting to go...
Okay. Alright. Yep, I'm sold. Yeah, okay. I mean, the thing is, like, yep, alright. This is what I... But wait, there's more. Yeah, I know. Look at the fucking video. We're not even halfway done. And so, yeah, this is Haram Brothers straight out. Yeah, there's a lot of pedos in America. I mean, this is an international website. The thing is, like, this is, like, I do think this is really, really fucking bad. That's a problem with the fuck. Yeah, it's like I don't know if they're like not managing it, if they don't give a shit or what. Like, this is really, really, really fucking bad. Hassan loves TikTok. Well, like, there are a lot of people that use TikTok that don't even know this exists. Like, don't go and say that anybody that uses TikTok is somehow complicit in this. To be fair, I remember this happened on Twitch. This has happened on Twitch, too. I know that this is something that people might not want to admit. Twitch might not want me to say this, but yeah, this has happened. It was a big thing like 3 years ago. And yeah, of course, it happens on all these platforms. The problem is that it happened on Twitch, and like it was like a big deal. It happened once, it got deleted immediately. Like, Twitch is so proactive with this stuff. Think about it like this. Twitch is so proactive with this stuff that piece of shit that went on a shooting rampage somewhere up in New York, they banned his no-name fucking zero viewer Andy stream within like 10 minutes. So compared to TikTok, Twitch is doing a great job.
About this process ethically, I began to ask questions in the chat room. I would directly state that I was a journalist. I don't actually view myself to be an adequate journalist by any stretch, but that's an easier and more mainstream way of communicating the types of questions that I was intending to ask, rather than I'm a gaming YouTuber, so yeah. I would directly state that I was a journalist investigating the TikTok platform to see if there are underage users being paid by older men for explicit content, and the results were very troubling. One of three specific things would happen when I asked this question.
Probably the other people in the chat would tell him to shut up. Because, like, yeah, it's guys that are doing this online. And it's like the girl, I mean, like, she's a fucking kid, right? I mean, if a guy offers people $100, like, people are dumb as fuck, right? That's why there is an age of consent. That's why you can't fucking sign a contract when you're 14. That's the whole reason for it. So, yeah, it's like these people are getting, they're literal groomers. Like, there's no... It's not like, you know, you're making some joke. Like, no, like, that's literally what it is. And it is that simple.
I'm going to show heavily redacted background footage with audio of what occurred in two of those outcome possibilities. The first was that the broadcaster would ignore me.
Don't do that. Women are disgusting too. Far more women teachers fucking young boys and girls than men. I don't think that's true. I think that there's far more male teachers doing that. And I think the reason why you hear about the female ones is because they're more salacious. Because sometimes you hear about like some female teacher that's like fucking her students and, you know, she's attractive. And so you have like all these guys that are fucking 53-year-old boomers with wraparound sunglasses and a camouflage hat on with a gray beard saying like, where was she whenever I was in middle school, huh, brothers? Man, was it like that when we was at school, huh? That's why. That's the fucking reason why. It's because it's shown to you more, because it's gonna give you it's gonna give more reactions. Every guy that does this with some fucking student, like some girl, student, nobody sees this. Like, nobody sees it because it happens so often, it's not newsworthy.
Or refuse to engage. That's what I expected, and I wasn't surprised in the slightest. The second was that the broadcaster would immediately suspend me from the chat and repeatedly, even frantically, express that they were 18 years old or 19 years old, or that I don't break terms of service, I promise, etc. Here's an example.
Alright guys, I am 19. I think someone asked in the comments, guys, I'm 19. Yes guys, I am 19.
I mean, I don't know if she's 19 or not. I have no idea.
This response was also expected to a degree, considering the fact that a random user was asking them about what would be...
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know how old she is. I have no idea. But it's like I that's like one point on, like... Let's just ask the obvious fucking... Let's say what's clearly obvious here. There are many of them, even if none of the ones in this video are breaking TOS and are underage, there are many of them that are. So even if none of them on this video are, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of them that do that.
Borderline or highly illegal and disgusting behavior without any sort of preamble. They don't know who I am or what I actually want, and they simply respond by distancing themselves. However, the third outcome, which happened numerous times, was the most interesting and concerning. When asking the question of certain broadcasters, some of them would answer, yes, I have heard of that stuff. They would go on to describe that it didn't happen in their broadcast, but they did know about it. They had some friends who did it, etc., etc. But the strangest factor of all was that on more than one occasion, and only after they answered affirmatively to my questions, the broadcaster would be suspended or banned from the platform in real time. Here's an example of that. For context, this girl, I'm just going to call her Jane for privacy reasons, answered my question, as you'll hear, with, yes, I do know about that. It doesn't happen here, though, and was then suspended immediately afterward.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I just be doing it. Do you hear of older men using TikTok Live for minors? But yes, I do. But nobody's on here with that. And if they are, I dismiss it right away. I'm a journalist investing in a platform. That's what's up.
Okay.
I went on to have a roughly 10-minute off-platform interview with Jane about specifics of this, and this is where I started to become aware of coded language. To be clear, I cannot give a definitive reason why multiple broadcasters were suspended as soon as they answered my questions, acknowledging that the problem even exists, but it did not happen a single time to a broadcaster that blocked me or refused to answer. It only happened when they gave a statement, and it might be possible that the ban was simply for evading the 16-year-old age requirement. Jane had acknowledged in the very same broadcast that she was 15 and was...
I feel like that's probably what it was. Yeah, I feel like that's probably what it was. Because that's what happens like on Twitch. You guys know about the thing that they have that like automatically detects certain types of chat variations of people saying that they're underage, and then because of that it will automatically ban their account? Yeah.
Coincidentally handed down at that particular moment, but I am extremely skeptical of what was going on here. Regardless, this is when I started to learn about coded language, and where it became increasingly difficult for me to keep investigating. It felt disgusting and wrong to even sit silently in these rooms, let alone continue to ask questions. Things started to make sense from then on as to what precisely was happening. Viewers are using coded language to have underage girls perform for them. That's really what it is. Fit check means let us see your stomach, or pull your shirt up. You forgot something, or get something from the back means walk away and show your ass. Outfit check was a common one, very common, where girls would back up to show their entire bodies. And the chat rooms were completely overrun with requests, and I don't just mean trolls here. They were overrun with paying viewers, requesting feet pictures, often referred to as feet check, or toe ring check, or anything like that, or attempting to move off platform and discuss some sort of larger transaction through Cash App. Do you want to make $400 fast, or $500 fast, etc., or buying them something from their Amazon wish list. I want to be extremely clear right now. Not all of the broadcasts that I've...
Where are the parents? Like, number one, where's Chris Hansen? Where's the FBI? Where are the fucking parents? Like, holy shit, what's going on here? Oh my god. Yeah, Chris Hansen, where are you? This is nuts, man. Shitty dog shit parents. Yeah, toe ring check. It's just... things that will, it's just, I mean, like, guys do this to girls on Twitch, right? It's like, can you stand up? It's like, like, you guys know this. Any female streamer, let's say she's an Apex Legends gameplay streamer, and you look at her top clips, which one is going to be the top clip? Probably her walking away from the fucking webcam. You know this, I know this, yeah, stand up, something like this. This is very, very common. It's obviously not as common on Twitch now, but it was more common back in the day. So yeah, I mean, this is absolutely just what people do, right? It's just horny guys that just get on the internet and do stuff like this. I mean, like, it's bad whenever you're doing it to, like, just a girl, but, like, if it's somebody underage, like, that's, like, 1,000 times worse, right? So... I really hope that, like, I don't see how this is as prevalent as it is, and they don't, like, because the problem is, like, also these users are probably not getting banned. Like, they're not getting banned fast enough. They're not getting removed off the platform, etc. Because, like, these users are also the ones that are creating the ecosystem for it. You see what I'm saying? Don't want your kids on social media, man. I mean, fuck. I can't see how you can watch this video and think that that's a good thing. And this is what I said at the beginning of the video, right? This is the one thing that I said, that TikTok, you know, absolutely, like, because I know about this. Everybody does.
Found, or that I'm using in the background right now, were underage girls performing for money, but many of them were. Perhaps for some, they just looked younger than they were, but some of them openly acknowledged that they were 15 while taking donations in order to do squats and spins. These are children using TikTok Live to display their bodies, even fully clothed, but doing splits and showing their feet or spreading their legs for money from older men. And
it's important to know that, like, even if you think that showing your feet or something like that is not inherently sexual, it is for the people that are asking for it. So, like, even if you think, oh, it's not sexual, yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is. For the people that are asking for it, this is absolutely a sexual transaction.
A breeding ground of inappropriate and sickening behavior.
Yeah.
To be clear, I undertook multiple sessions of investigation. After starting with an old account, I created a brand new, fresh, never-before-touched profile and engaged with the same pattern of browsing. This new account fell into the same content black hole as before in a very short span of time, and were I to undertake the process again, I have no doubt in my mind at all of similar or identical results. I have to be careful here because certain claims I ran into over the course of my second session devolve into hearsay. It wasn't one of the specific girls that I talked to personally, but her friend who had been allegedly extorted after selling nude pictures to one of the viewers in her chat room.
Yeah.
That type of situation, and I do believe that she was sincere, as a personal opinion, is called sex.
I mean, do we really have to call hearsay on a girl giving a guy nudes for money and then the guy extorting her for more nudes? Like, I mean, I don't know. I think that, like, if you just told me that that happened, I would be like, yep, that probably, yeah, I think that happened.
Extortion. And when underage girls...
It's her fault. No, the thing is, like, you're right. That, like, obviously, like, these girls should exercise better judgment and should not do this kind of stuff. But, like, you're talking about people that are literally too young to enter a contract. Like, there is a legal distinction that is, like, prevalent throughout all of society, that people of this age are not in full mental control of their actions. Yes, it is her fault too, absolutely. But, like, who am I going to get really mad at here? Am I going to get mad at the girl who's doing it, who's getting a bunch of money and doesn't think that it's bad and doesn't understand the fetishes that she doesn't know that she's playing into? Am I going to get mad at her? Am I going to get mad at her stupid fucking parents for not even knowing that this is happening? Or the shitty fucking website that's okay with it happening? Or the fucking pedophiles in the chat that are making a fucking ecosystem for it? Well, I'm going to get mad at the first three, the last three. She's last on the list. Because that's what they are. Fuck, man.
Performing for money on a live broadcast, fielding thousands of donations in some cases.
Most parents aren't watching their kids 24/7, though. Let's say you have a daughter and your daughter is a teenager and she just happens to have, she's like, oh, I have people giving me money online. Do you think that the parents don't know that she has a lot more money? What do you think is going on? Be a good parent and think for 3 seconds. I can guarantee you, my dad, who's 75, if he heard that premise, he would know exactly what was going on immediately. So I don't want to give the excuse, oh, they didn't grow up with the internet. My dad would fucking know that in a second. My mom would have known that in a second.
And requests for other ways to send them money for a favor is often what they would say in the chat room. It can absolutely occur on that platform. In a very short time frame, I was finding more instances that made my skin crawl than those that didn't. Yeah. Understanding that nearly every single teenage girl who uses the live broadcast feature of TikTok was being bombarded with requests.
And that's another thing, too. That's actually a really good point, is that, and this is what happens on Twitch, too. It's what happens on every social media platform as a girl. It doesn't really matter how old you are. You can be 12 or 40. you're going to have a bunch of creepy guys, if you post pictures of yourself, that are trying to, like, you know, get in your DMs or something similar to that. Did he say how some of the viewers are buying the girl stuff on Amazon wish lists? How the parents not notice packages just showing up? Well, I mean, the girl could always have them sent to her friend's house and then try to hide them from the parent. But, like, you can always, the thing is, like, a good parent will be one step ahead. Because imagine getting outsmarted by a 14-year-old. Like, every time that me and Lowell tried to fucking set off fireworks, my mom would catch us. Every fucking time. It didn't matter, and she would be there fucking ready to catch us. And she was like, what's in the bag, Lowell? My homework? She's like, let me see it, make sure it's right. Okay. Wow, M1000s. Oh, you got charcoal in there, huh? Yeah, that's not how to make gunpowder. Good try, though, guys. I'm gonna put this over here. All right, you're gonna go down to the park? Have fun. And that was it, yeah. Yeah, just a dark silhouette. Yeah, that's what it was. My dad always 2 steps ahead. Well, my dad was the one buying me the fireworks, right? Like, he was just like, the thing is, like, he knew we weren't gonna blow our hands off, right? Because he knew they weren't that bad. But my mom, she was like, nope, no fireworks. Yeah, my dad was the one buying it for me.
It starts to feel overwhelming. A 13-year-old girl who lies about her age is suddenly getting showered in gifts for showing her feet and twirling on camera. She gets more money when she dances.
I want to make sure that this is just as sick as it really is. She's getting the money because she's lying about her age.
Is provocative.
Keep that in mind.
And an algorithm designed to serve content that people are interested in is showing her broadcast to more and more sick people all around the world every day.
Yeah.
Even every hour or minute. This kind of situation is so prevalent, okay? I was shocked by this. I encountered young boys who were using face filters, pretending to be young girls, in order to receive roses and other gifts, which are redeemable for cash. Maybe some of them were pranking the audience, sure, but if there is such a high demand for this, such a large economy of transactions and behavior taking place, that children will use filters to appear more feminine and engage with it for profit, that is a serious problem. When doing follow-up research for this video, I learned something else. Moderators of TikTok are specifically being trained using real material depictions of child sexual abuse. Uncensored, explicit images of children are used in high volume for moderation training, and we need to ask a sincere question. Why do they
Why don't we ask a sincere question? Why is the age not 18? Why is it 16? Like, how about that? Like, why is it 16? It's legal age in Europe? Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you have a higher age overall, it will be harder for younger people to pretend like they are the higher age. You see what I'm saying? So, like, it's not even about the age, it's about the disparity between people doing it and like, the people that are the age that they're trying to be. It's in you. I don't care.
To do that. After my initial wave of research on the subject, I found an article on Forbes written by Alexandra S. Levine titled "How TikTok Live Became a Strip."
I've actually heard about, like, cops and shit like that. It, like, really fucks up their head because they have to go through, you know, these, like, hard drives of these people, right? And like, they have to see all this stuff, and it just, like, completely fucks them up having to deal with all that stuff. And like, it's actually a big issue for, like, people that are moderators of these social media platforms to have to go through all of this, like, fucking terrible content. Like, I genuinely feel really bad for them.
Club filled with 15-year-olds. This was an excellent piece of work, and most importantly contained quotes from security, legal, and law enforcement experts. I'll link it down below if anyone is interested. It was invaluable in my own creation of this video. As per TikTok's own enforcement report, they removed over 300 million videos in 2021 alone that violated their community guidelines, and the majority of these were not removed by automation. Combining the adult nudity and sexual activities category with the minor safety category accounts for over 50% of all videos removed since 2020. Looking at the number of accounts removed,
I don't see how you can have such a massive ecosystem of these like striptease like economy videos. Like there's clearly a lingo for this kind of stuff. Like I do not, even with how big of a platform TikTok is, I do not agree. Like, why is there any striptease stuff going on TikTok? Why not just don't have it on the platform, and that way it doesn't matter how old you are? Why not just not have striptease content on the platform, period? And I'll tell you why. It's because they make money off of it. That's the reason.
Suspected to be under the age of 13, 15 million of them in 1 quarter. October to December of 2021, 15 million account deletions for suspicion of being under 13 years old in just 3 months. I am not going to make the claim that TikTok is failing to try and moderate their platform. If their internal reports are to be believed, they certainly make that effort. I believe I witnessed it in real time as I investigated all this when broadcasters acknowledged my questions and were immediately suspended. They even resorted to highly unethical tactics to educate their moderators on child sexual material as they do this, but with the volume that they process, the sheer number of children flooding into the platform, and the undeniable economy that has arisen for...
Here's my thinking on this, is like, if you can't moderate it, you shouldn't have it. Like, if you cannot provide a platform that people cannot get groomed on, then maybe you shouldn't do it in the first place. It's that simple. It's not like, oh, well, we have a lot of people that are going on the website, I guess we can't do anything. Maybe fucking try to think about why that is. And it doesn't matter, like, why, like, how many people you have hired to do this. It's clearly not enough. TikTok makes 90% off the sticker gifts. Live users give the broadcasters. A lot will tell you not to send them. It isn't worth it. That's why they push for larger gifts. They make more money off of them. So TikTok basically has a token system like Live Jasmine or something like that. Is that what you're telling me? Holy shit. Like, I don't fucking, I go on TikTok like maybe once a month to see, like, you know, are there any viral videos of me? You know, any good videos of me on TikTok this month? All right, cool. Yeah, that was a good one. I did say the funny joke that day. Haha. Yep, and that's about it. I don't even have, yeah, that's about all I do. It's crazy, man. You go on Live Jasmine a lot, though? No, but, like, you know, like, when you go on a porn site and you, like, try to, like, click and, like, play a video and it, like, opens up an ad for Live Jasmine? Like, you guys have had this happen, right? I mean, let's just be honest here, guys. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, of course. Of fucking course, I've seen this.
Sexual exploitation and transactional behavior, we must ask the question, is this platform doing more harm than it is good? An algorithm that has aggressively promoted adult behavior, from substances to kinks and more, directing that content at children, is now governing a live feed of broadcasters where underage girls are being showered in gifts to perform suggestive actions or poses.
And it's like, you think about these girls, right? How many times have you guys seen, like, some girl on Twitter or something like that, or TikTok or one of these places, like, and they turn 18 and they immediately start an OnlyFans? You know what I mean? Like, how is that not, like, how many of them probably were groomed for that? You know, by guys like this. All the time? Yeah.
Many of them with Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wishlists, or Venmo in their bio specifically for this purpose. While a massive community of groomers, and most likely pedophiles, watch intently, many of them actively trying to pull the girls into an off-platform environment.
Oh, yeah.
Whether for money or other incentives.
You saw that in the chat.
The footage I found within mere hours of investigating this topic had to be cut several times in fear of crossing a profound moral, ethical, even legal boundary. And once you have witnessed these broadcasts, even in passing, the machine learning of TikTok will continue to push them into your feed aggressively at every turn.
I mean, at that point, I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, they're literally pushing underage sexual content. That's literally what they're doing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are doing that. And I think that they should face the exact same scrutiny, probably more, than YouTube did. You guys remember ElsaGate? This was a massive fucking problem on YouTube. And YouTube took a huge L on this because they let it happen.
When I say this, anyone in my audience who is a parent or even a free-thinking teenager, carefully examine when and how you use this platform, because shrouded behind the simplistic visual of just a rose or an emoji is a cash for favors underbelly of children performing paid actions for groomers and sick individuals.
Yeah.
Set aside the dangerous challenges, the disrespectful trends, the medical concerns of imitation and neurological disorders, or the rampant scamming and falsified content that plague this platform each and every day. Set all of that aside and look now at one simple reality. An algorithm that has been proven to serve wildly inappropriate, even dangerous content to children now governs an effective marketplace of underage exploitation. Is this application worth using? That's it. I reached a point in the production of this video, just to be completely honest with everyone, where I couldn't take it anymore. If it feels like
I think that, like, this is something that the government should be involved with. Like, I don't think that it's fair to put the responsibility on the individual consumer, on the individual person. Like, I think this is something the government needs to be responsible for, and not you or me or anything like that. Ban it? I mean, I don't know about banning TikTok, right? I think that it's like there is a spectrum of like how to approach this problem. Do you just delete it? Do you have government regulation for it? Do you have different limitations on like content curation? Like, for example, there are like these cam websites, for example, the camming websites. If you want to live stream on one of the camming websites, you have to submit like actual, like some of them require you, I think, to send in your birth certificate, but you have to send in a picture of your driver's license. You have to send in a bunch of verification in order to actually be on one of these cam websites. So like, why is it that you can't just require TikTok to do the exact same thing? You see what I'm saying? All easily fakeable? Yes, but like what you're doing is like you're narrowing down the amount of... So basically, all right, so imagine if you have no barrier to entry at all and you have 10,000 people that are doing it. And then imagine if you add in 5 barriers to entry and now you only have 2,000 people doing it. Which one is easier to moderate, 10,000 or 2,000? You see what I'm saying? It does help. Like it's not about like every law that is made does not stop crime. There has never been a law that was made that effectively has stopped the crime from happening. Every crime that was happening with Cain and Abel is still happening today. It's not about that.
Abrupt end. That's why I had to shut down, stop looking, stop recording, and stop asking questions.
It's weird.
Stop scripting. I saw what I saw, and I know what it is. To a degree, you'll have to take my word for some of this, but I'm more than willing to stake everything I've worked for since the...
As somebody who has been on the internet for 20 years, he is completely right in everything that he's saying, and this video should be 1 hour and 20 minutes and not just 20 minutes. If anybody's been on the internet, this was the same thing. Remember Stickcam back in the day? And then there was like YouNow and like these other platforms. Like TikTok is just the latest iteration of this. This has been going on the internet for the last 20 years. Omegle, yeah. There's nothing new about this. It's just that it shouldn't be happening. Chat roulette.
This channel on my words today. I believe TikTok is poisoning our society in a way that will have untold and dramatic consequences on the future. Young boys are being funneled into a world where underage girls are performing dances for cash, or for little images that are convertible to cash. They are in chat rooms where explicit discussion of what they would like to do to that little girl is taking place. And if we think about this logically, what kind of result will that have on their opinion of women and their future behavior? In context, this social media platform is one of the most terrifying and disgusting.
It's bad because it makes guys resentful of girls because they have this opportunity, and that's like where you get tater tots. This is how tater tots are made. It's one of the reasons. And it's unfortunate, but that's what happens. It's a completely distorted view on things.
Things I've ever seen in my life. And again, I believe that to some degree, TikTok as a company is attempting to moderate this reality. But
tater tots meaning kids that watch Andrew Tate and agree with everything he says. maybe it was a little bit too tongue-in-cheek. That's what I meant to say. Okay.
When the effects of your product are almost universally negative, it probably should not exist. That's it. Link down below, Patreon, Locals, Odyssey, another YouTuber to check out, merch, social media, Surfshark, the video sponsor, etc., etc. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.
This is a good video. Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit fucking much. Here, let me link you guys a video. Upper Echelon Gamers has actually done like some really, really good investigative journalism videos. Like I really like these a lot, talking about, you know, important issues like this. I think this is a big deal. So yeah, I'm really glad to see. I'm glad to see this happening. New Lazy Peon video. Yeah, I'll watch that in a bit. Since Lawfall, technology giving us opportunities straight from ideal path. No, I mean, you're right that, like, guys have been trying to do this to girls for, like, thousands of years. Like, I don't think that, like, nobody is saying that this is, like, a new development, but being able to do it with pretty much, like, complete impunity and anonymity, and to do it in the most, the worst way possible, let's just say that. I think that's really what the problem is. And it's also that, like, the company is making billions of dollars off of it. It's that simple, right? Is that, like, these companies are making billions of dollars off of having, you know, underage cam shows on their platform. It's outrageous. It should be actively fought against. I think that people should, I wish more people knew that this was happening. Because, like, I think that like, anybody who's like us, right? Like, internet users that are online all the fucking time, we all know what this is. We know it, you know it, everybody fucking knows it. However, there's a lot of people that don't really use the internet as much, they don't do this kind of stuff, and they don't really understand that it's bad. And I think those are the people you really need to reach with this kind of stuff. Because the moment that, you know, like, you know, I don't know, like Sandra and Pam at their fucking, you know, their church revival group get wind of this, they're going to start calling their senator. And that's what the problem is. Is that, like, they don't even know really what TikTok is. It's crazy. Someone on DK Fresh today? I'm probably going to do DK Fresh, but I want to watch a couple of other things as well. Huge issue with online interactions. People think there's somehow a different dimension that has nothing to do with real life. I think that online and real life have definitely, there's been a convergence. It's not like, you guys remember back in like 2006 to, I'd say like from the early internet to, I would say like there's been like different like levels of the internet, right? I would say the internet pre-2004 was like a completely different existence. And then from 2004 to like 2008 to 9 to 10 to 11, somewhere around there, it was like kind of like an alternate version of you. And like now who you are on the internet is kind of pretty much who you are in real life. I would say in many cases. So I think that it's unfair to categorize what happens on the internet under the same level of kind of like not caring that you would back in like 2006. Because like you have people like, for example, you know, they're getting harassed in real life. They're getting harassed in real life on social media by people that they go to school with. So like, how is this really a different place whenever it's people that they know that are doing it? Do you agree the internet changed after COVID too? Yeah, I think it did. TikTok gets called out because it's China. They're all pervasive. I think that they are all pervasive, but I think that it's unfair to say that every single platform has this specific issue. Yes, and I feel like this whole video, the main thing that this video is talking about is like creeps online and groomers. Like, that's really what this is. So it's not like really TikTok is fundamentally bad. It's this part of TikTok is fundamentally bad. And again, it's not impossible for TikTok to just say, you can't go live on our platform unless you provide age verification and ID in the same way that like any of the cam sites do. And I'm sorry, but I think that's probably what they should do. Because they clearly can't manage the amount of live content that they have. And I think that if you can't manage the amount of live content that you have, and you're constantly unknowingly, and let's be honest, knowingly hosting child porn, then I don't think that you should be able to do that. Flat fucking out. It's not even a question. It's not, oh, well, they can't, they've got too many requests. Then shut it down.